Okay, so this lesson's about the mental game, and as we've talked about before, if you watch some of the videos, you'll see that mental game is a big part of what we do and what we believe that will help the physical part of the game. The mental side that we deal with, whether it be everyday life or it's our competition for ourselves, for like say golf or any athlete, you're going to have that number one limitation you'll have to deal with in any sport, also as well in life, is you're going to be having to deal with fears. Fears will cause doubt. They'll cause lack of confidence, belief. They'll start to try to break down that circle of kind of like the path to success and that circle that's involved. And so you're always dealing with these fears, and the fears for every player, are so different. So I can't go into how you do this for this fear and this fear. Really, they're all the same thing. So whatever it may be, you just have to learn. There's really just that the one solution that I've learned and so forth through martial arts and my mentors as well through the Tao and some of the other philosophies that we use is you have to two things. So you're going to deal with your internal side to help the external. So the external would be the outside fears. So if it's going to play competition golf, or it's your first time playing golf and you're at the first tee, you get to the first tee and you have the first tee jitters, or whatever it may be. It may be from going from the practice tee to the course and applying it. So the way I look at it, whatever fear it may be, is that you need to learn how to meditate. Now in meditation, there's no really wrong way to meditate. The only wrong way, it's something like I've heard some really great trainers talk about, there are no such thing as a bad workout. So it's like if you go to the gym, if you hurt yourself, I guess that counts. But I'm just saying in general, it's easy for us to all go into and with our techniques and think, oh, if this is the only workout you should ever do, and if you don't do it, then you might as well stay at home, and that's bogus. There are sport-specific workouts, there's mental things and all this, but it just goes back to the basics of with meditation. There's going to be a lot of people who would say this is the right way to do it. You need to sit just like this. You need to have your posture just like that. You need to breathe just like this. You need to think just like this. And those are good guidelines and baselines. And I'm not here to say that they're all right and all wrong. I'm just saying that you have to start. You can watch this video. You can watch any YouTube video you want to watch. And if you're not the one that's doing the meditation, if you're just hearing about it or watching somebody, you're not going to get any benefit from it, and therefore you're not going to be able to, from the internal side, start to overcome these fears from the outside part. And so you can do standing meditation. There's a lot of them that I'll do in Tai Chi. If I drop the club, I'll hold my hands out like this. You may have seen some of these where I do it. Get into kind of a flexed goat stance and just relax, close the eyes. You can sit down, you can be on a couch, you can be wherever you are. It's better to not have like a TV or a racket going on in the background, but it doesn't even have to be a perfect setting. You don't have to be underneath a waterfall. You don't have to be at the beach to meditate. You don't have to be at all these places and so forth. You just need to just be wherever you're at and get into the moment, in which will take some time, and do it. Now, if it's your first experience with meditation, all you're trying to do is to try to allow thoughts to come in one ear basically and go out the other ear, so to speak. So thoughts are, when you start to close your eyes and you just try to sit, the monkey mind will kick in. So you're going to want to get out. You're going to want to open your eyes. You're going to want to get up, go do something. You're going to want to quit meditating. You're going to want to do everything except that. And what you have to do is you have to weather the storm. You have to just wait. And so as your mind's playing these games and these tricks and it's running all over the place, you just sit there and you center yourself and you just wait and you relax and you just allow the thoughts to come in and go and come in and go and come in and go. And your goal for the first one is to just get to the empty spot, okay? So you're going to go through these layers like this, right? It's just like an ocean. It's got these layers and this drift. And eventually at the bottom, it's very calm and very still. And that's what your goal is when you meditate. You want to get to that zone. That's when your mind is awake, even though your eyes may or may not be open or whatever, but your mind will start to awake when you get there. Right now when it's doing this, I'm not saying it's not awake, but it's so cluttered there's no vision, there's no clarity to that. Okay, so you go through these layers and you just wait, and it may take 5 minutes, it may take 15 minutes, it may take 30 minutes, it may take whatever it is, but you're not going to be anything special to everybody else. You'll eventually, if you wait long enough and you will weather the storm, the mental toughness side, just wait and wait and wait until it happens, and then you'll go through what everybody else that has gone through, that has been through meditation, as they get into this calm, kind of peaceful, content place, and then that's when you can start to make decisions. And that's also when you can start to the best decisions, but it's also when you can start to, when you come out of meditation and you go out into the real world, your daily activities or whatever they may be, you start to deal with those pressures. You handle them differently. You handle the auto-programmed self, as you heard me talk about before, the things that we do where we're reactive versus, we're reacting to what people do instantly in a negative way versus reprogramming the self and to handle things different, to look at them and to listen for a little bit before we react, and then just take our time and make a really calm answer or whatever it may be, or reply to whoever it may be, and use your awareness. If you don't know how to meditate, I'm not saying you can't do it, because some people, we're all born differently. Some people, they might not ever have to meditate in their life. They just have that gift. Most people don't have that gift. And if you don't have that gift, like me and most of the people I know, then what you need to do is learn how to meditate and get into that zone, so you start to answer and become different in your everyday life, but also start to deal with the fears that we're talking about as an athlete. So when you come out of that state, then that's a good time to start writing what your goals are, what your plans are, how you're going to, you go and reflect on what you've done in the past and what you want to do now, and how you're going to start hitting these little short milestones, as we talk about, as you move forward throughout the day. The only thing that matters, like we talk about, the only easy day was yesterday. So, right now we're just trying to hit short little milestones and conquer these small fears. You may have a big fear up here, whatever that fear is. It's not my duty to know all that and job to know all that stuff. It's just that you know what it is, and you may not be able to hit that big one. You may have to hit these small little these little goals first to chip away at this milestone and then finally accomplish it. And that milestone may not be today, and it probably won't if it's a lofty goal, but it may be down the road. Hopefully it will be. And so I'm a walking example of what it's done for me. I'm not going to go into all the things how it's helped me, other than the fact that achieve and so forth, but it has helped me pretty much in every aspect of my life in those 5 mountains that I always talk about, which are going to be the physical side. You've got the mental side, you've got the spiritual side, the emotional side, and then you have the intuitive side that we're all trying to climb and conquer those mountains, right? And so it starts with understanding, the way they used to teach martial arts, and still the old practices do, is that we taught you how to be a strong person first. It was about developing mental and the understanding the self, and then becoming a warrior on top of that. It's hard to become a warrior if you don't have that mental side. So going over the fears, so we talk about meditation. Once we get into that, then we start to try to chip away at whatever those may be. When you get into that deep, clear state, that's when, and everything empties, that's when you might start thinking about and visualizing. Is a good time to turn that into a visualization of how you're going to conquer those fears for the day and achieve those milestones that you want to set for the day. Okay, just chip away at it. Now, from the external side, the external is being that you're not in a meditation state. You're actually you're working out through your day or whatever. You're in your day, and you need to you've got a fear that's popped up, whatever fear that may be, and you'll know what those are. But you should go attack it. You'd never run from that fear, and it doesn't mean doing something that's going to put you in tremendous amount of danger. It could, just depends. But in general, this isn't about that. This is about things that you can certainly do without having any danger attached to them. They're just limiting you, whether it's stress, anxiety, whatever it may be. It's limiting you from going to achieve what you do. And I'll give you a simple example. What I mean is a lot of people won't go to the gym to work out because of the fear that they have of going to a gym atmosphere where they have people in there, they're lifting and strong and all this stuff, so they feel this fear like they can't go in there because they're not good enough or not worthy. Now, that's a fear. That's just to give an example of what fear is. Fear is also worrying about what you're going to shoot when you play in a golf tournament. Okay, those are fears, and you just have to understand what those fears really are, and then you have to attack against them. If your fear is to go to the gym because of all that, and that means you need to go to the gym, and you'll learn when you go to the gym. Or again, whatever this may be, say you go to the gym and you conquer that fear. You may feel really bad when you're there the whole time, but when you get done, you're going to realize, hey, look, man, I accomplished. I got through this. I went and did it. When you get there, you're going to realize that nobody cared about what you were doing anyway. They just care about what they're doing. And the same thing when you go to the first tee. Yeah, you might have eyes on you, but they're also worried about their own game. It's going to come back to them too, and it's just how you deal with it individually. Everybody's dealing with the same stuff and junk, and we act like we're not connected, but we all are to what we're doing. And so when fears pop up from the external side, from the outside perspective, and it's fears that are holding you back, maybe in your job, maybe in your finances, maybe with your family, your wife, or your anything it could be potentially, yourself, whatever it may be. Go look at it, start trying to change your outlook on these things, and start trying to do the things that you don't want to do because you think it's, people are making fun of you or this or that or whatever these fears may be. You do them, because if you always spend your whole life worrying about what people think about what you're doing, then you'll always be a prisoner to those people. All right. Best of luck with that, guys.